Story 1, GoodRx. If you haven't seen the depressing commercials, this is an application that gives you discounts on prescription medications. My dog has epilepsy and I save about $200 a month on his pills. Story 2. Not exactly legal, but Z-Library has PDF copies of almost every publication ever, including books, magazines, textbooks, and science journals. I use it for PDF copies of books I already own. It does nothing but free up space. Story 3. Have I Been Pawned is a website that checks through a database of breaches to see if any account associated with your email has been compromised. Being compromised is pretty common, especially if you use the same email for many websites. There is no need to be concerned if you have been compromised multiple times. Almost all will be from mass data breaches, and it is unlikely you will ever be targeted specifically. However, it is a good idea to close accounts you no longer use and to change the passwords on accounts you use regularly. Story 4. Any students stuck on paywalls to see studies? Here's a way to get around a lot of them. Sci-Hub, removing barriers in the way of science. Story 5. Audacity, a powerful audio editor, ideal for music and podcasts. Autodesk Fusion 360, computer-aided design and computer-aided manufacturing software. Bitwarden open source password management service. Blender free and open source 3D creation suite. Cakewalk music production software. Darktable open source photography workflow application and raw developer. Dashlane cross-platform subscription-based password manager and digital wallet application. DaVinci Resolve color correction and nonlinear video editing application. FreeCAD open source general-purpose parametric 3D computer-aided design modeler. GIMP, a powerful open source photo and image editing tool. Godot Engine A 2D and 3D, cross-platform, free and open source game engine released under the Massachusetts Institute of Technology license. Glitch build fast, full-stack web apps in your browser. Glimpse image editor, a photo editor for everyone. Greenshot, a free screenshot tool optimized for productivity. Handbrake, the open source video transcoder. Honey, a browser extension that aggregates and automatically applies online coupons on e-commerce websites. HitFilm Express video editing software with professional-grade visual effects tools. Inkscape free and open-source vector graphics editor. Kdenlive open-source video editing software based on the Media Lovin Toolkit framework, K-Desktop environment, and Qt. Keepass free and open-source password manager primarily for Windows. Krita, free and open-source raster graphics editor designed primarily for digital painting and 2D animation. Open Broadcaster software, open-source software for video recording and live streaming. LibreOffice, open source office suite. LMMS, a digital audio workstation application program. Magica Voxel, a free lightweight graphics processing unit-based voxel art editor and interactive path tracing renderer. Medibang Paint Pro, free digital painting and comic creation software. MuseScore, create, play, and print beautiful sheet music. Ocean Audio, easy, fast, and powerful audio editor. OpenTunes, animation production software. Paint.net, a freeware raster graphics editor program for Microsoft Windows developed on the .NET framework. Photopea, web-based raster and vector graphics editor. Pixlr feature-packed online photo editor. QGIS, open-source cross-platform desktop geographic information system application. Radio Garden, explore live radio by rotating the globe. RawTherapy free, cross-platform raw image processing program. Reaper, digital audio workstation and MIDI sequencer software. ShareX screen capture, file sharing, and productivity tool. Shotcut, a slick open-source program for advanced video editing. SlidesGo, free Google Slides and PowerPoint templates. Switch, convert and encode sound files quickly. The Noun Project, icons for everything. TurboTax, website that makes it easy to file your taxes. Unity cross-platform game engine. Unreal Engine, the most open and advanced real-time 3D creation tool. Unsplash, beautiful free images and pictures. VLC Media Player open-source portable cross-platform media player software, and streaming media server. Visual Studio Code free source code editor. Waveform, fully featured. Completely unlimited free digital audio workstation for all music creators. WavePad audio and music editor for Windows and Mac. Costream anime and animated TV show/movie site with dubs and subs. 7-zip file archiver with a high compression ratio. Codecademy, free sessions and exercises for any coding language. Coursera, online courses and certifications. Cybrary, the cybersecurity and IT career development platform. X, online courses and certifications. FreeCodeCamp, learn to code at home. Goal Kicker, free programming books in any language. Khan Academy, a non-profit educational organization. Learn with Google courses and certifications from Google. Learn with Microsoft on X courses from Microsoft. MDN Web Docs, resources for developers, by developers. Mit Kurses, mit Open Courseware. Octave software featuring a high-level programming language, primarily intended for numerical computations. Our programming language free software environment for statistical computing and graphics. Replace.it code and collaborate without friction. W3 Schools, the world's largest web development learning site. Story 6. I bring to you Radio Garden, my friend. Radio stations from around the globe. Just spin it a bit and click where you want to get a list of radio stations from that country. Great for people who like foreign music, language learners, or people looking to reconnect with something back home. Story 7. The FreeCycle Network is a free-to-sign-up, non-profit website that helps people give away free stuff that they don't need to people who need it in their local town or neighborhood. Their goal is to promote reuse of goods that would otherwise go into landfills. Story 8. Free old computer games. Some good ones from my childhood. Marathon, The Incredible Machine 1 and 2, Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit 1 and 2, Underground 1 and 2, Most Wanted, Carbon, Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 2, 3, and 4, Underground 1 and 2, Simpsons Hit and Run, Final Fantasy, Baldur's Gate, The Lord of the Rings. Story 9. Sorry for the long post, but here it goes. Virtual Studio Technology Planet and Virtual Studio Technology for free if you want to get loads of awesome Virtual Studio Technology instruments and effects. Also has lots of other downloads for freeware digital audio workstations, trackers, editors, and other tools. To make some great drum sounds, there is Stomper Hyperion, get the zip file version, and Drum Synth. Though if you want to use Drum Synth on Windows 7 or Windows 10 and above, use the Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox. There's a Windows XP virtual machine you can download and use to run Drum Synth properly. Make sure you use one of the older ones if you have a lower-end Windows 7 or 10 and above machine, or you won't be able to disable certain features that require something your graphics card just doesn't have. Here's the link for Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox. It might seem intimidating at first, but it is pretty easy to set up. Here are some instructions, which include a download link for a virtual Windows XP. And for some awesome free digital audio workstations, you can get the Buzz Tracker, Cycle Tracker, Linux Multimedia Studio, Cakewalk, and Traction. Traction Free is basically just an old version that the creators have decided to make freely available. They can all host Virtual Studio Technology plugins, and most have their own native plugin instruments and effects. The Tracker's Buzz and Cycle can be a bit tricky if you are starting out, but a lot of fun once you know how to use them. Others that I like include Darkwave Studio, since it stopped using the OpenCandy installer, and OpenModPlug Tracker. They also are Virtual Studio Technology hosts. Edit. Traction is apparently now called Waveform. Kind of confusing, but still a great interface, especially for something you can get free. If you want a simple recording software, look for Audacity, of course, but there are other multitracks you can download that might be better. Also, look up the Sonic Spot on Google using the Wayback Machine. It's a long-defunct music software download site, but it still has working links if you can find it. Great place to look for great stuff. If you have a taste for old-school mixing programs, look in the Internet Archive for Tuareg, Tunafish, and Moonfish. Used Tuareg a lot back in the late 90s and early 2000s. A few extra links. Sample Radar. A website with loops and one-shot samples you can download and use for free. No need to pay royalties, just don't re-upload them to your site or try to sell them in a sample set and you'll be fine. 2000 free sound fonts. It has links to a lot of useful websites for sound fonts and for sound font players. Polyphone's sound font editor. Make your own sound font files. Mod archive downloads. Lots of song files and the TMA WaveWorld collection, filled with drum and other instrument one-shots. KaiArchive Woolist chiptune samples are also worth a look. Drawing and painting. For those who want to get into art and are tired of GIMP, which, to be honest, doesn't respond well to the mouse but is good photo editing software. I would recommend ArtRage and Metabang Paint Pro. Both are free, and last time I checked you can get everything you need with the free version of the Metabang Paint Pro tablet app. About all you're paying for is more palettes, which you may not really need. They are very responsive to mouse and stylus movement, and both have options to allow you to draw smoother line art. Pisha and Fira aren't too bad either, and there is also the old version of Open Canvas. Old school artists will probably like Flying Colors and Deluxe Paint 2. Flying Colors is an old Windows 95 256 color program, while Deluxe Paint 2 is a DOS program, so you will need DOSBox. For vector pictures, Inkscape is probably your best bet right now. It's not the best vector editor around, but it's free and you can make some very good pictures with it. Heck, if you are skilled enough, you can make professional quality pictures in MS Paint. Story 10 Word Hippo. It is hands down the best online thesaurus ever. You can search synonyms and antonyms, and it includes slang, explicit language, and multi-word phrases, all of which are typically excluded in other thesauruses I've used. This feature lets you find both more specific, academic, professional words and more general, slang, colloquial words. This saved my sanity in term papers and texts alike. When you search a word or phrase, you get a page that breaks down synonyms by meaning and part of speech. Check out this page for live, with 11 verb usages, 13 adjective usages, and 3 adverb usages. Bonus. I actually ended up using Word Hippo while writing this comment. Story 11. Tubi TV. It has a ton of movies. Not exactly box office hits, but it's got movies and they change every month. I've watched movies like Fury and Airplane on there. The best part is you can get it on your phone, laptop, and PlayStation 4 as far as I know. 100% free, 100% recommend. Edit. They also have TV shows and anime. I've watched One Punch Man and Fairy Tail. Story 12. It was created by Hassan Minhaj with a list of websites to file free taxes, providing direct links instead of misleading users into paying. Hassan Minhaj discusses this in his Patriot Act Volume 6 episode. Why doing taxes is so hard. Edit. I'm really glad I watched this episode and happened to see this post at the same time. I just wish this post had come sooner than the tax due date. Thank you to user Rependleton18 for my first gold. And thank you to user EnergyTakerLad for my first +1 award. Story 13. If you are a student or trying to stay focused at work, there is an app called The Forest. Stay focused. It is a free app available as an extension on Google Chrome or the Apple App Store. Basically, you plant a tree, set a time limit, and you can only go on the sites that you have added to the whitelist or your tree will die. It is designed to stop you from always being on social media while you are supposed to be studying or doing something productive. Story 14, edX. It offers completely free online courses, usually lasting 2 to 6 weeks per course, taught by professors from top-notch universities from all over the world, such as Harvard, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Stanford, and Oxford. It's just like taking classes from a university with assignments, lectures to watch, and more. The courses are varied and interesting. Another online use people don't think about is libraries. Go to your local library, get a card, and you get a huge selection of books right on your phone, Kindle, or laptop. You check out the books online, and you get them on your device for usually 3 weeks. The book then deletes itself, but you can check the book back out if needed. It's completely free. Story 15. A fun thing to check out is the first ever website. Something else that's really cool is the Library of Babel, which essentially contains every possible string of letters, periods, and commas. At first glance, it seems a bit uninteresting until you realize every story, text message, word, thought, the names of every person who ever lived, the names of every person who didn't live, the secrets behind the creation of our universe, are technically within the many volumes of the library. You can search anything you want in the library and it will find it for you. This is honestly quite mind-blowing. Story 16. It is a website dedicated to tracking the bills and votes of Congress. You can find out who proposed which bill, when they did, and when they will be voting on it. Critical for staying informed. Story 17. This is more of a novelty website to kill some time, but I think it's pretty cool and you can easily lose yourself for hours with nostalgia. It basically uses YouTube videos to simulate watching TV in the 1990s, and you can specify what year you want and what categories you want to see when you change channels. There is also a My 1980s TV and a My 1970s TV, and the developer has said they are considering building one for the 2000s. Story 18. I always love the opportunity to be able to talk about the Internet Archive because it is such a wonderful and free resource. It has millions of free downloads for music, movies, books, software, and more. One very popular example is that it is home to a very large catalog of Grateful Dead recordings. There is also the Internet Arcade, where you can play a lot of classic games, along with the console living room, which is similar. They have access to tons of old personal computer games too, and you can even play the original Oregon Trail online. There's a lot more in their software section too. It also has the Wayback Machine, which has archived more than 451 billion web pages saved, so you can go back and see how websites were years ago. For example, here is Reddit on July 25, 2005, a month after it was created.